What's up guys, what's up YouTube? Today I'm going to show you how I created this sweet web page in Adobe XD and how to animate it. Now if you're visiting here for the first time or you have not subscribed, please be sure to do that so that you can get more amazing tutorials like this. Now without taking much of your time, let's get started. Now, first off, I'm going to dive into my computer and export a few images that we are going to use for this tutorial. Now, the images that I'm going to use I've already taken out the backgrounds, so it's just the items with in a PNG format. Now, you can use your Photoshop to crop out the backgrounds or any other tool that you feel comfortable with to take out the background of your images. Or if you would like me to make a tutorial on that, please leave a comment in the comment section and I'll be sure to get back to you. But for now, we're going to import a few pictures that we're going to use now for the sake of this tutorial. Okay, so now I'm going to draw a nice rectangle from the right side of my artboard. I'm going to give this the color black. You can be creative or you can follow me step by step on this tutorial. Okay, so for this next part, I'm going to draw a nice ellipse with no fill and a stroke of around 2 pixels. I'm going to give the border white color and I'm going to send it to the back of my picture, which is the picture of the laptop that's sitting here. So I'm going to select this ellipse that I just drew and then I'm going to duplicate it a couple of times while increasing the size each time I do that. Now this next ellipse, I'm going to give it a little effect by giving it a fill, but this time I'm giving it a gradient fill and not just a normal fill. The gradient is going to be just 2 colors and it's going to be a radial gradient. I'm going to select 2 colors, one for the center part of the gradient and one for the outer part of it. For the outer part of it, I'm going to reduce the opacity so that it kind of gives it a nice flow from the middle and extends outward instead of giving it 100% opacity on the outside one, so it's going to look like a regular circle. As you can see, we have a smooth gradient extending from the middle outward. So I'm going to send it to the back of my computer image here and the back of my ellipses. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a nice play button just somewhere around the top right hand corner of my product picture. For the play icon, I'm going to use an ellipse background with a bright color, and I'm going to use an icon plugin in Adobe XD, which is the one I use regularly if you've been watching my tutorials. Now when that is done, I select both the play icon and the ellipse and I put them in one group. Now in order to add more visuals to our design, I'm going to create another ellipse, but this one is going to be much bigger than the ones I've created before. So half of this ellipse is going to sit outside of our rectangle. I'm going to give this a nice border somewhere around 5 pixel or 4. Feel free to play around with your creativity. And then I'm going to just reduce the opacity of this ellipse to around 50%. Next thing I'm going to do is add in a little text just under my picture, so it's going to serve as a category for which product item we are viewing on the web page. This one here says gadgets. So that is done for this section of our web page. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to select the rectangle in the background and I'll make a copy of it. Now the copy stays in the front, so I select everything and then select mask with shape. Next thing is to draw another rectangle just the size of the one that we drew the first time. This is going to be a different color and it's going to serve as the next section of our web page. So the next rectangle we're drawing over here is going to overlap the first one, and it's going to cover only half of the first section of our web page so that it stays visible even when there's another one on top of it. It's also going to be the same process for the second one, just as it was for the first. We're going to also bring another product in here and put it on the top of our second rectangle. We're going to draw the same ellipsis and put the same section on just as we did on the first one. So feel free to play around with the colors on the section of the web pages. It's going to help to give you a better understanding of what you're doing, just in case you need to practice by yourself next time. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to dive into a first section of our web page, and I'm going to copy some items here, which is the section name, the category, that little rectangle over there, and the play button. So I'm going to copy them from the first section of our web page and I'm going to paste them on the second one. So after I select them, I just hit Ctrl C, shortcut for copy on my keyboard, and then I click outside and I press Ctrl V, which is the shortcut for paste. So I just drag them and put them on top of my second rectangle. Now to add more visual effect, I'm going to add in some text. This one here says Xbox, and after I make it bold, I increase the font size. I'm just going to send it to the back of my product picture, which is the back of the gaming pad, by pressing Ctrl and bracket open on my keyboard. After that is done, I select it and I reduce the opacity also down to about 20%. Now after that is done, the second section of our web page is also done. So I'm just going to, I'm going to create a rectangle also the same size as this, and I'm going to also mask it just like we did on the first one, so it becomes like it helps to keep your work tidy. So the second rectangle goes on top of the second section of our web page only. Be careful not to select with the first one that you already did. If not, it's going to just put everything that you did in a mask. So make sure you select only the items or the elements that are on the second part of your web page and not with the first. So we're still going to repeat the same process for the third section of our web page. Okay guys, now that we're done with the last section of our web page, I'm going to name this artboard yellow, and then I duplicate it 2 more times. I'm going to name the second artboard blue, and the last one I'm going to name it black. Now I'm going to head into the second artboard and grab the last section, which is the yellow part, and then I slide it to the left just until it meets the beginning of the blue section of our web page, which is for the second artboard. And then for the third artboard, I'm going to grab the yellow and the blue part, and then I slide them over to the left too, just until they hit the beginning of the black one. So on each artboard we have one full section that is visible. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to head to my prototype section, and then I click on this blue section. I grab this little arrow over here, and then I place it on my second artboard. I head over to the type, and then I click on auto animate. I click this one, I select ease in and out, and then I leave the timing to 0.3 seconds. I do the same thing. I drag the black section, I put it over the third artboard, and I leave the same settings. And I'm going to grab the blue one and bring it to the second artboard here from the third. I grab the yellow one on the third and I bring it to the yellow artboard, and then I'm going to grab the black one here on the second artboard and bring it to the black artboard. So basically that is the trick behind this. You grab whichever section from each artboard and place it on the artboard that is named after it. If you grab the blue on the second, on whichever artboard, make sure to drop the wire on the artboard that says blue. Now let's test it out. Okay, so our animation is also working clean, as you can see guys. So please, if you find this tutorial helpful, please be sure to subscribe to my channel for more tutorials like this. And if there's anything you find a bit difficult, please leave a comment in the comment section and I'll definitely get back to you on it. Thanks for watching.